Yo, shout out to June Plug, because I'm not gonna lie, he be making hella viral videos. Look at this, 200K in one day, bro. What? I gotta step up my game, I swear to God. But anyway, he dropped a video, the 7 deadly sins as rappers. Gluttony, so I guess Lucky getting fat. And then Cardi is a sloth who does nothing, I guess. But I think both of those things actually help the rappers, because like Cardi's mysterious and doesn't do anything, and then now everybody on a dick right now because of that. And then Lucky, he even talked about in the interview with Lil Yachty or the podcast, and he said that like the joke of him being fat actually helped, because it's like it made it more memeable and the fans got behind it, even though it might have been corny or whatever, but still like it just increases the conversation around him. But let's see what June Plug had to say.
There are 7 rappers I've found who each meet the criteria for one of the 7 deadly.
I saw Mario Judah. Yeah, definitely he was a sinner, even though he was trying to protect everybody through the word of God to save everyone from the war that's going on in, you know, the East, let's say. But he's a sinner.
Sins: pride, greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth. I'll start with what is considered to...
Is gluttony a deadly sin? Is that true? The 7 deadly sins. Is that a real thing? Like that they're explicit? Whereas pride, greed, covetousness, gluttony, okay. Sloth, what the hell? Okay. He's getting all biblical on us.
To be the original and worst of the 7 deadly sins: pride. Pride is defined as believing that one is essentially better than others, failing to acknowledge the accomplishments of others, and excessive admiration of the personal self. The rapper who best matches this description of pride is Drake. Drake is no doubt one of, if not the most accomplished rapper of all time, but the thing is, he doesn't shy away from boasting about his accomplishments. A lot of his song lyrics show this.
I feel like every rapper has this sin though, or executes this sin, because that's what you're expected to do as a rapper. You're supposed to flex all your accomplishments in your songs and everything, like swing that dick, pause.
Off, constantly putting himself on a pedestal. Another example of Drake's pride is him hiding the fact that he had a child with an ex-adult film star, likely due to how it would make him look to the public. In May 2017, TMZ reported that ex-adult film star Sophie Brousseau claimed she was pregnant with Drake's baby and that they weren't on good terms. She claimed to have messages with Drake supporting the claim that he got her pregnant, and in those alleged messages, Drake asked for an abortion and claimed that she only wanted the child so she could get his money. Drake's team discredited Sophie's claim.
I mean, is he lying though? There's no way, like, shit. Any girl on this planet, if they get pregnant with Drake's kid, I don't care what they are. If they already got money, or actually maybe if they got money, if they're like billionaire status, then maybe not. But I'm just saying, like, any regular girl is keeping that shit. Are you kidding me?
Suggesting that she was using the situation as a way of getting into the United States. It wasn't until Pusha T's May 2018 diss track on Drake that his hidden son would finally be revealed to the world, against his own free will. Drake has also shown the world that he is not receptive to criticism.
I'm not gonna lie, that might have been one of the greatest like exposés slash disses of all time. Like, I wouldn't say that the actual song was that great, The Story of a Died-In, like bars, sure, but just the whole fact that he exposed Drake's child, unknown child, that will go down in history. And it's a blemish on Drake's career. Although I don't personally care at this point, but still, everyone will remember that.
Which is another sign of his pride. In September 2022, Drake privately sent harsh messages to YouTuber Anthony Fantano, seemingly due to the low ratings he had been given.
I hate when rappers do this. It's like, you're putting music out there to be criticized, okay? It's all subjective. So when you get mad that some person doesn't like it, it just shows that you're soft.
Giving his recent albums. Fantano made light of the situation by not sharing the messages publicly, but by telling people that Drake kindly DM'd him a vegan cookie recipe. Even though this was an unbelievable story, Drake decided to take matters into his own hands and post the actual bitter messages that he sent.
Damn, he trolled the shit out of Drake.
To his own Instagram story. He used Fantano's own 10-point rating scale to call his existence a light 1, all because he couldn't handle the criticism of Fantano's album reviews. Another person's...
And he kind of did that to the recent album where he gave in to Joe Budden's, we already talked about this, comments about his immaturity of his music. He should grow up, and like, so then he dropped the Scary Hours edition of For All the Dogs, and then it was all lyrics, like, and I personally just didn't think it was all that great, but he just listens too much to the people. And you'd think that if Drake's that prideful, that he just wouldn't care. If I'm that rich, no one can tell me shit. I'm fucking God at that point.
Criticism Drake couldn't handle is Joe Budden's. Joe criticized Drake after the release of his album For All the Dogs, stating that he was rapping for the children and needed to mature his music to match his age. Drake took his message to heart and responded with an onslaught of personal jabs. In short summary, calling Joe Budden a frustrated failure and quitter who will not be remembered and whose opinion should not be listened to.
Damn. See, if he just let Joe Budden talk without any response, I feel like that's I don't know, that makes Joe Budden's existence even less. But Drake being the size he is, it like brings Joe Budden's status up. And so Drake, I don't know if Drake doesn't realize this.
He ended the message by flexing his private jet and using it to diminish what Joe Budden has achieved. Drake may be a bit full of himself, but at least he's been consistent, releasing music frequently for years upon years. The same cannot be said for the rapper I chose to represent the sin of sloth. Sloth is the most difficult sin to define and credit as a sin, since it refers to an assortment of ideas. But the most common definition given to sloth is reluctance to work or make an effort, also known as laziness. A rapper who's known for fitting this description is Playboi Carti. Carti began his music career in 2011 and started attracting attention in 2015 with his singles Broke Boy and Fetty. Since then, Carti has dropped a whopping 3 projects in an 8-year time frame. Sure, there are other rappers who take long breaks in between projects, but they usually meet at least one of these 2 justifications. 1, being older in their late 30s or 40s, or 2, still consistently dropping singles and features while they work on their own project. Carti cannot use either of these excuses. Since 2017, Carti has released 1 single that wasn't for an album. Before his 2 big 2023 features with Travis Scott and
What are we defining as a sin? Like bad? Because as much as people get mad at Carti for not dropping, like it low-key is a good thing. At least he's not flooding the market and saturating it to the point where the music is bad. Like it's always impactful, which I feel like once you got money, impact is the thing that we should strive for, not necessarily just flooding the game with music so that we get, like money. He probably gets rich as hell off of tours too, because everybody wants to see him perform.
Weekend, Carti had 0 features done for all of 2022 and only 7 total from the 2 years before that. Ooh. It's not only his music releases where Carti is sparse, as he also rarely posts anything online to social media. Despite his lack of consistency, Carti has only grown more and more successful over the years, to the point now where he's one of the biggest names in rap. The next rapper I chose cannot relate.
How is that a sin though? That ain't a sin. To be honest, that's what's the opposite of a sin? Like praising God. He's a pastor. He's the Pope. He's the Antichrist.
To this, but wants to be just like Carti, and that's why his sin is envy. To envy is the desire to have a quality, possession, or other desirable attribute belonging to someone else. An extreme example of envy is actually wanting to be someone else. Mario Judah is a rapper who
literally took the entire whole lot of red concept.
Envy to this extreme, basically becoming a clone of Playboi Carti. Before Mario was even an artist, he was a big fan of Carti.
I was doing this before I was an artist. Like, I was one of the fans in his comment section, like, bro, please drop Whole Lotta Red. Like, bro's fire. Like, he's a rock star too, you know what I'm saying?
In 2020, he, like many others, were growing impatient with Cardi for not dropping his album titled Whole Lotta Red. Mario decided to take matters into his own hands and threatened to release Whole Lotta Red for Cardi if he didn't drop it before December 6th, 2020. Once that day came around and Cardi hadn't dropped, Mario Judah released a single titled Bi Ya, where he did his best Cardi impersonation, mimicking his typical baby voice cadence and flows.
I saw addicted to drugs, I saw addicted to drugs, I saw addicted to drugs.
After the release of this song, Mario Judah announced that
that song was not bad. I'm not gonna hold him.
was only track 2 of his own entire Whole Lotta Red project that was on the way. On December 8th, 2020, Mario Judah once again threatened Cardi, this time saying that he would drop his own version of Whole Lotta Red if Cardi didn't drop his album by December 11th.
I'm gonna do what I can to try and get him to drop. If I try to alert him and threaten him with a song, maybe he'll hurry up and drop. Apparently it's not working, he's not dropping, and all the fans are upset. And now they're expecting me to keep going. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, it's like, if he not gonna drop, I'm gonna take the responsibility and give the world a whole lot of red.
Cardi, of course, did not oblige, and Mario Judah proceeded to drop an EP titled Whole Lotta Red shortly after midnight on December 12th, 2020. The 3 new songs on the EP were just like the previous song he'd released, showing him copying everything about.
That was the clout up of the century, though. Like, Mario Judah exploded from that. That was the perfect example of trend jacking. Pause for all the YouTubers out there.
Playboy Cardi's sound. The worst part is that after Cardi finally released his album Whole Lotta Red on Christmas 2020, Mario Judah responded with hatred, as if the version he had dropped was better than Cardi's.
Cardi, I didn't do all this just for you to give us.
You would think that Mario Judah would have liked the album because it was more like rock inspired. Not really, but like electronic, I guess. Rock. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like what you would categorize it as. But I wonder if Mario Judah likes it now because he kind of has more of a rock lane.
Trash, bro. You're not worthy of me, bro.
The Cardi imitation songs Mario Judah made were extremely successful, all being his most viewed tracks, but it ruined his reputation as an artist trying.
Damn, your most viewed tracks are somebody else's, like you being a clone of somebody else. That's what ruined his career, but we've already talked about that so many times.
To capitalize off of someone else's style. It did greatly boost his following and notoriety, so I think it's safe to say he overall gained from this situation. Someone else who gained from a situation is the rapper I selected to represent the sin gluttony. Gluttony is the overindulgence and overconsumption of anything to the point of waste. The rapper Lucky unfortunately meets the criteria for gluttony.
We get high, we get fat.
Lucky is a rapper from Chicago who began his music career in late 2012. Looking at pictures of him early on in his career, you can see that he had a skinny body build. Look at pictures of him now, and it's...
I feel like that happens to a lot of rich people, though. Like, if you look at any dad who's a corporate executive or something, like you go out to dinners all the time and like you're on the move, you don't really have time to work out because you're making business moves, and you're just getting nicer food as opposed to just ramen noodles. And when you're poor and broke, like you just don't have a lot of food, so you're of course going to be super skinny. But then when you have abundance, then you just start packing on the pounds.
quite the opposite. But what was it that caused Lucky's continual gain of weight? Well, it actually all started after he stopped doing the drug Xanax. Lucky was a frequent user of Xanax to the point where he took 10 pills in a single day. But in 2016, he chilled on the Xans and found another drug that would change his life forever. Lean. It was around this time when Lucky first began drinking lean. Lean is a recreational drug beverage prepared by mixing prescription strength cough syrup containing codeine and promethazine with a soft drink.
Lean is so overrated, dude. Like, perks are way stronger. You could pop a perk and start feeling like wonky, and then the lean is just kind of like a thing of, it's like a status thing. It's so expensive too. Like, you don't get ROI on that shit at all. You don't get that high. You just get tired, honestly.
Drinking it in prescribed quantities is safe, but one of the potential side effects of overconsumption is weight gain due to not only the extremely high amounts of sugar in the sodas, but also the cough syrup that causes constipation and inflation of your liver and intestines. The bloating that
I didn't know that. Learned something today.
lean causes is referred to as a lean gut, which is similar to that of a beer belly. Lucky first started showing signs of his lean gut in 2019, and it's only gotten worse and worse every year since. Lucky said he wished the weight gain on himself for wanting to gain weight back when he was skinny.
You're like one of the first or only niggas who embrace gaining weight.
It's really like a little karma thing. Not karma, but I wish this on myself because I used to want to be like Sosa and Gucci Man, and I was skinny as hell trying to get a little pudge. Then I got it, but I stopped caring about having it. You feel me? I wish this on myself.
It didn't stop growing.
Now his lean addiction is so bad that he
It didn't stop growing.
doesn't even like thinking about how much it's cost him.
How much you think you spent on it?
I don't like thinking about that.
Yeah.
What's the most you paid for a pint?
I won't say if you hide it.
8.
The root of his addiction actually stemmed
It got to be like 8,000.
from his listening of Lil Wayne, a rapper who frequently glorifies lean in his music.
I always wanted to drink lean though, cause
But see, why didn't Lil Wayne gain any weight? He had to be drinking it with like Sprite Zero or something. That's usually what I drink it with. Not that I do it very often, but I've only done it like twice. But I did it with the Sprite Zero, so your boy didn't lose any gains, you know?
the Lil Wayne though. I was a real impressionable kid, you know? I was like super impressionable. So I always wanted to drink lean. Then when I started getting older, it just fit.
Now Lucky himself is the one frequently glorifying lean in his music, potentially negatively influencing other listeners. Another person negatively influencing their listeners is the rapper I have representing the sin of lust. Lust is defined as
Every female rapper is like promoted as lust. And if you're one of the female rappers who, you know, is technically sound with your bars and whatever, like nobody cares. And as much as I hate to say it, that's just how the world works because of how men see females or how females see each other. Like sex is what sells when you're a female rapper.
as intense or unrestrained sexual craving. I couldn't think of a better fit for this description.
Oh, he's gonna bring up the sex tape on IG Live or whatever, like where it got leaked.
Than the rapper Sexy Red. Sexy Red is a recent success story in the rap scene, blowing up from her rather unholy lyrics.
My coochie pink, my booty hole brown.
Wikipedia's description of Sexy Red says her public image, lyrics, and media presence have been described as brazenly sexual and boisterous. She herself describes her music as bad and ratchet. Her stage name, Sexy Red, was adapted from her nickname Red because of her red-dyed hair, and then her aim for sex appeal since embarking on a music career. Listening to her songs makes this clear, as just about every single one is full of lyrics about or completely based around the theme of sex. The same can be said for her music videos and live performances as well, which basically center around her showing her body off and shaking her rear end. Her lustful activities expand beyond the public eye, as she's had multiple intimate videos of herself with men leak online. Sexy Red's reputation is not the best, as many call her a bad influence, but what she's doing is causing her career to take off and making her a lot of money in the process. Someone who knows
It's like Kim K. Kim K got famous off a sex tape, bro. Nobody actually cares. And like even the hoes, men are still buying OnlyFans, right? It's like we're so contradictory. We want to marry or lock down the ones who are innocent, who saved it all for marriage, and then we want to bang all the like the actual whores because like they're probably good in bed type shit.
knows a lot about money is the rapper I selected for the sin of greed. Greed is the excessive desire for material possessions and wealth. I decided to go with Travis Scott for this sin because he's infamous for taking countless high-paying endorsement deals. In 2011, before Travis had any buzz in the rap scene,
Is that bad though? I feel like all of his partnerships, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm just not thinking of one that was bad, but they've all fit pretty well, like McDonald's, Nike, Fortnite, like they were all tasteful. Whereas what I don't appreciate is when a rapper or celebrity takes an endorsement deal or a partnership or sponsor where it just doesn't fit at all. It's kind of just a cash grab. But I feel like these all world pretty cool.
He made one of his earliest greedy decisions. He dropped out of college without telling his parents, but his parents were sending him money to help with his college expenses. They were sending him money for food, rent, and school necessities every 2 weeks. Travis used this money on flights, studio sessions, gas, clothes, and anything to continue
Damn, I bet they're not even mad about that. He's probably bought them a crib already.
his rapper lifestyle. It wasn't until his family came to visit him at his college that he would get caught, as they saw that he wasn't there anymore. After his parents found out that he'd been using the money they were giving him for non-school related purposes, they stopped talking to each other for a while.
Yeah, how'd that conversation go? Like, once you found out that you were taking her money and spending it on all this other stuff.
Man, she was just like, what the yo, you crazy wasting my money. It's crazy, just like going ballistic, man. Like, she didn't talk to me for like a good 3 months.
Travis actually justified his actions, saying that it led him to the success that he has now.
To me, I felt like it was right just because, like, I knew what I was doing with the money. It wasn't like I was going out buying drugs. I was going out, like, you know, harm.
He's like, well, maybe I bought a couple bags of weed
for myself and going out spending it on like stupid stuff. I was spending it on like things that was gonna get me to like the level of just where I'm at now.
One day in
and it was a good decision. Shout out Travis Scott.
2012, after returning from work on Kanye West's Cruel Summer album, Travis forgot everything in his hotel, including his luggage and his MacBook. Instead of going out and purchasing a new computer, he decided to leech off his friend Tony and use his constantly until he proclaimed it as his own. One day in mid-2013, Tony went to grab his MacBook and Travis didn't allow him. He snagged the computer out of Tony's hands and a fight almost broke out. Travis then left with the MacBook in his hands and Tony flew home to Houston. He says that they haven't talked since. In June of 2013, Travis signed his first ever endorsement deal with Reebok, and since then has collaborated with Nike, Dior, McDonald's, Fortnite, Netflix, A24, Anheuser-Busch, Reese's Puffs, PlayStation, NBA 2K, Hot Wheels, Connected Cannabis, Bin Trill, Byretto, and Helmut Lang. In 2019,
this dude gotta be a billionaire at this point. What the hell?
2019, Travis performed for the Super Bowl 53 halftime show, even though several other
This just shows that like creating high quality content or like huge projects as opposed to going for just strictly the streaming numbers is one really smart tactic to go after, and probably I should listen to too, where like he hasn't dropped that many projects. He from Astroworld, that was 2018. Utopia dropped in 2023, so that was 5 years. And so he's still making a huge bag just off, again, the impact, which we talked about with Cardi before. And so you can get the millions and millions of dollars of sponsorships and endorsements and make all like way more money than you would have streaming, because that pays shit like 4.4 cents per stream. So that might be the smarter way to go, more efficient.
Musicians turned down offers due to their support for Colin Kaepernick after his national anthem protests against police brutality. Travis was criticized for accepting the invitation, but the exposure he gained caused his performance fee to double from $500,000 to $1 million after the event took place.
Oh my God.
Travis's continual pursuit of wealth is why he's currently worth an estimated $90 million, which is about 90 million more than the rapper I have representing the sin, Wrath.
And you already know that when a net worth is projected or estimated online, it's probably going to be way more. So it says 90 mil. He might be almost close to 500, because money is exponential when you get to that point where like you can seed invest in different private equities or startups. And, you know, like when you got real money, you really know how to play. You have a bunch of different plays that are high risk, high return.
Wrath, also known as rage, is described as inordinate and uncontrolled feelings of hatred and anger. No rapper fits this description better than Space Ghost Perp. Space Ghost Perp is a rapper who's notorious for his controversial public persona and the many different beefs he's been a part of. Early on in his rap career in 2008,
this definitely a sin. Maybe Travis Scott was a sin a little bit, because there are some bad stories that have come out about him, like just not treating people correctly in his pursuit of fame. Space Ghost Perp definitely ruined his career, just like Mario Judah. And this should be a sin. Like, he's crazy. He's schizo, bro.
Perp formed a hip-hop collective called Raider Clan. The collective had a rotating door of members as so many rappers came and left over arguments with Perp about creative control and personal issues. As Perp rose to prominence, his conflicts grew and got well documented, the most famous being a dragged-out rivalry with A$AP Rocky. In late 2011, A$AP Yams discovered Space Ghost Perp and his music through Tumblr. Perp began producing for A$AP Rocky, who was a big fan of his music. Perp and A$AP Mob were on good terms until a string of arguments led to Twitter feuds and physical altercations. In November 2012, Space Ghost Perp and affiliates of Raider Clan attacked members of A$AP Mob outside Miami. This led to A$AP Nast calling the police and Space Ghost Perp getting arrested. In March 2013, Space Ghost Perp and affiliates again attacked A$AP Mob in their home city of New York. The feud began to die down after this.
I bet you he like thought that he was better. Actually, it's a fact that he thinks he's better than all these rappers, but bro, he just got passed up by everyone. Now he was bitter as hell because he's not the same level as them. He's probably just mad. But didn't he say he's like autistic or something? Or that he was stealing money from the Autistic Organization of America, which in itself is some loser shit. So he's already autistic for claiming that falsely he was autistic.
In terms of aggression and return to social media beef. In January 2016, Perp made a series of disrespectful tweets about A$AP Yams, who died from a drug overdose in 2015. This caused a whole new beef with his former Raider Clan member Denzel Curry, along with rapper XXXTentacion. Their beef was basically a string of heated diss tracks that eventually led to X getting a Perp tattoo on his wrist. Over the years, as Perp has fallen from fame, he's often channeled his anger on Twitter, where he's frequently gotten suspended for homophobic, racist, and misogynistic tweets. Perp has claimed he should be taken at his word, stating the complex, "If I'm mad on Twitter, bitch, I'm mad for real. Mad is mad, it ain't cyber mad. When I'm mad, I'm mad. On Twitter, off Twitter." Perp was arrested multiple other times, like for assault with a deadly weapon and for assault of a woman in North Carolina. The karma for all his wrath seems to have caught up with him, as he reportedly went broke and was even homeless. But
he's just definitely bipolar, has some mental disorder with emotions, and that, like, there's no coming back after that. He just needs to get on meds or something, but that might not even help.
But I don't think you can say that he didn't deserve it.
Some got my name on his stomach, and I don't know, it's weird.
This was about Vamp Leak back in the day. Sent him his laptop with music, and now
he mailed me his laptop. He wanted me to mix his album or whatever. I don't know. He wanted me to sign his laptop or something like that. This is his laptop right here. So we just gonna do this, all right? And this is what we gonna do. All right, you I'm breaking this shit too because your music is so trash.
Damn, Vamp Leak might even be getting more streams than Space Ghost Perp at this point. Or Lifeless Garments, that is.
What you thought I was gonna mail it back to you? That's what you thought? Well, guess what?
Ugh.
You're not getting it back.
That was such a dick move by him. Like, that's your fan, bro. Somebody who
always been a freaky jet trying to fuck my cousin. None of that.
Somebody just who wanted your autograph or whatever, maybe a collab. You don't necessarily have to do it, but like, the fans are the reason that you're up. So you can't be doing that. That's wrong. It's bad karma. And look what happened to him. So he deserved it.